Good morning, children. Let us start chapter number 8, Wind, Storms and Cyclones. What is wind? Moving air is called wind. The instrument that measures the wind speed is called anemometer. Let us talk about the properties of the air. First property is air exerts pressure. Now, how we can prove this? We can do one activity. Take a tin can, fill it half with water. Heat the can till water boils. Now blow out the candle and put the lid tightly on the can. Now next step is pour cold water over the can. The shape of can get distorted. As the water is poured over the can, some steam inside the can get condensed into water and reducing the amount of water inside. The pressure of air inside the can decreases and the pressure exerted by air from outside the can is more. As a result, the can get depressed or distorted. Another example we can see is while flying a kite, wind coming from our back helps us. We all have experienced it. It is easier to row the boat in the direction of wind rather than in counter direction of the wind. And last example you might have experienced, it is difficult to ride a bicycle against the direction of the wind. Second is high speed winds are accompanied by reduced air pressure. That means if the wind speed is more, there will be less air pressure. We can see it by doing some of the activity. Now crumple a small piece of paper as ball and put it inside the mouth of the bottle. Now try to blow on the ball to force it into the bottle. When we blow into the mouth of bottle, the air near the mouth has highest speed. This decreases the pressure there and the pressure inside the bottle is higher than the near to mouth. The air inside the bottle pushes the ball out. You can do it. Activity another is take two balls of approximately equal size. Put a little water into the balloon. Now blow up both the balloon and tie it to one string and hang the balloon 8 to 10 centimeter apart on a cycle spoke or a stick. Now blow in the space between the balloons. You can see that when you blow between the balloons, they move towards each other. This could happen if the pressure of air between the balloons were somehow reduced. The pressure outside the balloon pushes them towards each other. Now another property is air expands on heating. This we can conclude by taking a boiling tube, stretch the balloon tightly over the neck of the tube. Now pour some hot water in a beaker. Insert the boiling tube with the balloon in the hot water. Observe for 2-3 minutes for any change in the shape of balloon. Now take the test tube out and let it cool down to the room temperature. Take some ice cold water in another beaker and place the tube with the balloon in cold water for 2-3 minutes. Now observe the change in the shape of balloons. What we observe? Can we think and try the answer? What makes the balloon inflated when the boiling tube is placed in hot water? Why is the same balloon get deflated when the tube is kept in cold water? Now we can explain this fact is in the boiling water, when we put the boiling tube fitted with balloon, air expands and it rises up and balloon blows up. Another activity we can do is take two paper bags of same size, hang it in the inverted position on the two ends of a metal or wooden stick. Now tie a piece of thread in the middle of the stick to hold the thread as in balance. Put a burning candle below one of the bag as shown in figure. You will observe the one of the bag rises up. As the warm air rises up, it pushes the bag above the candle. So we can conclude on heating, air expands and occupies more space. When the same thing occupies more space, it becomes lighter. So warm air is therefore lighter than the cold air. Moving air is called wind. So why these wind currents are generated? These are generated due to uneven heating of the earth. The region close to equator gets maximum heat from the sun. The air in these regions get warm. The warm air rises and the cooler air from the region in the 0 to 30 degree latitude belt on either side of the equator moves in. These winds blow from north to south towards the equator. At the pole, the air is colder than at the latitude above 60 degrees. The warm air in these latitudes rises up and the cold wind from the polar region rushes in to take its place. In this way, wind circulation is set up from poles to warmer latitude as shown in figure. Uneven heating of land and water. Now land bridge and sea bridge we have already deal in the chapter heat. These are also the consequence of uneven heating of land and water. So in summer near the equator, the land warms up faster and most of the time the temperature of the land is higher than that of the ocean. The air above or over the land gets heated and it rises. This causes the wind to flow from ocean towards the land. These are also known as monsoon winds. The word monsoon is derived from Arabic word mosam, which means season. Similarly, in winter, the direction of the wind flow gets reversed. It flows from land to the ocean, and the wind from the oceans carry water and bring rain. Thunderstorms and cyclones. Thunderstorms developed in hot, humid tropical areas like India very frequently. The rising temperature produces strong upward rising winds. These winds carry water droplet upwards where they freeze and fall down again. The swift movement of falling water droplets along with the rising air create lightning and sound. We call it as thunderstorm. Precaution during thunderstorm. Do not take shelter under tree. Do not take shelter under an umbrella with a metallic end. Do not sit near a window. A car or bus is a safe place to take shelter. If you are in water, get out and go inside a building. How a thunderstorm become a cyclone? For cloud formation, water take up heat from the atmosphere to change into vapor. When water vapor changes back to liquid form as raindrops, this heat is released to the atmosphere. The heat released to the atmosphere warms the air around. The air tends to rise and causes a drop in the pressure. More air rushes to the center of the storm. This cycle is repeated. The chain of events ends with the formation of very low pressure system with very high speed winds around it, revolving around it. It is this weather condition that we call a cyclone. Factors like wind speed, wind direction, temperature and humidity contribute to the development of a cyclone. Cyclone is known by different names in different parts of the world. It is called hurricane in American continent. In Philippines and Japan, it is known as typhoon. Let us see the structure of a cyclone. The center of a cyclone is a calm area. There is no cloud and no wind. It is called eye of the storm. A large cyclone is a violently rotating mass of air in the atmosphere, 10 to 15 kilometer height or high. The diameter of the eye vary from 10 to 30 kilometers. It is a region free of cloud and has light winds. Around this calm and clear eye, there is a cloud region about 150 kilometer in size. In this region, there is high speed wind, approximately 150 to 250 kilometer per hour, and thick cloud with heavy rain. Away from this region, the wind speed gradually decreases. The formation of a cyclone is a very complex process A figure is shown. Destruction caused by a cyclone. Cyclones can be very destructive. Strong wind push water towards the shore even if the storm is hundreds of kilometers away. These are the first indication of an approaching cyclone. The low pressure in the eye lifts water surface in the center. The rising water may be as high as 3 to 12 meters. It appears like water wall moving towards the shore. As a result, the seawater enters the low-lying coastal area, causing severe loss of life and property, reduces the fertility of the soil, damage houses, telephone lines, and other communication system. Tornado. Tornadoes in our country, they are not very frequent. A tornado is a dark funnel-shaped cloud that reaches from the sky to the ground. Most of the tornadoes are weak. A violent tornado can travel at the speed of 3 km per hour. Tornado may form within the cyclones. The whole coastline of India is vulnerable to cyclones, particularly the east coast. The west coast of India is less vulnerable to cyclonic storms, both in the terms of intensity and frequency of the cyclone. In 1999, Odisha cyclone occurs. It is also known as Cyclone 05B and Paradeep cyclone. It was the strongest tropical cyclone ever recorded in North Indian Ocean. It was also deadliest tropical cyclone in Indian Ocean since 1991 Bangladesh cyclone and the deadliest Indian storm since 1971. The Category 5 storm made landfall just weeks after Category 4 storm hit the same general area. It was a tropical depression formed over the Malay Peninsula on October 25. It moved to northwest and became a tropical storm on 26 October. It continued to strengthen into cyclone on 27th October. On 28th, it became a severe cyclone with peak of 160 miles per hour, that is 260 km per hour wind. It hit India the next day as 155 mph or millimeter per hour, that is 250 km per hour cyclone. It causes death of about 10,000 people and heavy extreme damage in its path of destruction. Effective safety measures during cyclone. A cyclone forecast and warning services is there. Rapid communication of warnings to the government agencies, the ports, fishermen, ships and to the general public. Construction of cyclone centers in the cyclone prone area and administrative arrangements for moving people fast to safer places. Advanced technology has helped a lot during these natural disasters. It has become easier to monitor cyclone with the help of advanced technology like satellites and radars. Cyclone alerts or cyclone watch is issued 48 hours in advance of any expected storm and a cyclone warning is issued 24 hours in advance. The message is broadcast every hour or half hour when cyclone is nearer to coast region. Several national and international organizations cooperate to monitor the cyclone-related disasters.